Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Reactor, and this is Quinn. And today's article comes from BBC.com and says UFOs spotted off Irish coast under investigation. So that doesn't mean extraterrestrial aliens. It just means something they couldn't identify. I want to make that clear.
Right. And a lot of these UFOs do fly in standard United States military formation. So kind of makes you wonder, who's training these aliens?
You know what's funny? They talk about how around the 1950s, UFOs started being more prominent, right?
Right.
And you know what else started being more prominent around the 1950s?
Televisions in houses?
And airplanes.
Oh.
And flying crafts. Like, how come they weren't around, 200 years ago?
Right.
But, all right. The Irish Aviation Authority is investigating reports of bright lights and UFOs off the southwest coast of Ireland. It began at 6:47 local time on Friday, 9 November, when a British Airways pilot contacted Shannon Air Traffic Control. She wanted to know if there were military exercises in the area because there was something moving so fast. Wow.
I'm pretty sure that UFOs are built by governments.
Why would they projects?
Yeah, why would they fly in military formations?
Do they?
What? I mean, the ones that were caught over Mexico. I mean, that's right by San Diego and all these places.
Even if aliens are flying around our planet right now, I guarantee at least a lot of them are our own crafts that are top secret.
Right. I mean, if you look at the newspaper headlines in 1947 for the Roswell, New Mexico crash, they changed the headlines. It is an actual fact that at first the headline said unidentified flying object crashed. Then nothing. It was a weather balloon or gas or something like that.
Which doesn't necessarily mean that the government's trying to lie to the people, but they're trying to make sure that other governments didn't figure out, because the other governments can read our news,
Right.
See, they don't want to say no, it's a top secret aircraft that it flies very fast. It can go up to 900 miles an hour, and they're not going to announce that. They're like, no, don't say anything.
Right.
Yeah. So that probably had something to do with it.
Right. I think that what happened is, over time, some UFOs did crash, and some very intelligent people found some of the debris and were able to back engineer some sort of a craft, maybe not exactly the way it was, but there definitely is something up there, and I believe it looks like humans are flying it.
The pilot flying from the Canadian city of Montreal to Heathrow said there was a very bright light and the object had come up along the left side of the aircraft before it rapidly veered to the north. So that actually doesn't sound like military, though. If you're in a top secret craft if you're in a craft that's well known even, but you're on a secret mission,
right,
you don't fly up to an airliner, right?
Unless you want everyone to believe that it could not be a military type of device because it flew so erratically and close to a civilian aircraft.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right, I get what you're saying. I think that they would avoid it because why in the heck would anyone want to give themselves away like that? I mean, you can take photos out of a window of a plane.
And I guess all the instances because the military knows where all the planes are in the sky. So it would be really weird if any UFO flew up to an airplane. So all of the reports of UFOs flying up to airplanes are kind of weird.
There's a lot of stories about U.S. airmen and airmen across the world and especially I've read about the World War II era, where pilots over the Atlantic and Pacific saw these unidentified flying objects that would fly right next to them and then dive down into the ocean. And there's countless accounts of people seeing these, servicemen and women seeing these. So what I have to say about that is there's something in the ocean. Why did they see all these UFOs dive into the ocean? It's the last unexplored place. What are you going to go find?
I think we've mapped the ocean floor, though.
Yeah, but there's places that we physically cannot go ourselves, and if we send an unmanned device down there, it may not be able to reach all the depths that we want it to because of restrictions.
James Cameron went to the Titanic, which was pretty deep, if I understand it correctly. It was pretty deep down there.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
the Marianas Trench is full of what is it, mer people? King Trident, or what is it, King Neptune with the trident?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
She was wondering what it could be, but said it did not seem to be heading for a collision. Another pilot from a Virgin plane joined in and suggested it might be a meteor or another object re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. Huh.
It's always a meteor or something. Who would admit that they have an aircraft that can do like 800, kilometers per second, but also it can turn at a right angle doing that speed? I mean, if you had that technology, you're not going to just be like, yep, we've got it, it's ours. You're just going to be like, nope, it's aliens.
I don't know. No one's ever said it was aliens, but maybe they allude to it on purpose.
Right.
Throw people off their scent of having insane technology. I don't know. I don't think the government has like super insane technology, but I know they have technology that we're not aware of yet.
Like invisibly cloaking people.
I don't think. I mean, you could. That's actually pretty easy with a projector. You ever see those videos?
Yeah.
Like you project the background onto yourself and you're just like hidden. He said there were multiple objects following the same sort of trajectory and they were very bright. Yeah, so I mean, meteorites don't turn at right angles, but they didn't say they turned or anything. So the pilot said he saw two bright lights over to the right which climbed away at speed. One pilot said the speed was astronomical. It was like Mach 2, which is twice the speed of sound. Which, yeah, that could be a meteorite. That could explain that.
Right.
Is that a picture? Oh, here's a picture of the UFO. No, like it's a comet or something. What could it have been? Apostolos Christou, an astronomer from Armagh Observatory and Planetarium, said what the pilot saw was probably a piece of dust entering the Earth's atmosphere at very high speed. It was most likely what are commonly called shooting stars, he said, or a meteorite. It appears that matter was extremely bright, so it must have been quite a large piece of material. I cannot say from the pilot's description, but it could have been the size of a walnut or an apple. Oh, because, yeah, that would take a little bit of time to burn up, I suppose. I guess. The astronomer said November tended to be a very active month for such activity. But yeah, like, what is it, May or June? We go through 2 asteroid belts that cause meteorites every year or something. It also appears there were bits coming off the object and flying past the aeroplane. That is also what you would expect if it was particularly large rock from space hitting the atmosphere. It would tend to fragment. See how they spelled aeroplane? They spelled it wrong. BBC is so dumb. Following reports from a small number of aircraft on Friday, 9 November, of unusual air activity, the IAA has filed a report. The Irish Aviation Authority said, this report will be investigated under the normal confidential occurrence investigation process. A spokesperson for Shannon Airport said it would not be appropriate for the airport to comment while the IAA investigation is ongoing. So, another thing, you hear about UFOs, but then you hear about, like, I've heard about, like, soldiers in like, Europe or, places that have found crafts that are landed already and have said that people came out and stuff like that. And that's totally different than a UFO. Like, if someone says they saw that, it's like, okay, they could be lying, but they could be telling the truth. But they're definitely not mistaken,
Right.
You're not confused about seeing a giant craft that landed in a forest or something,
right,
with bright lights coming out of it.
I just want to say that for anyone that hasn't seen NASA footage of unidentified flying objects within our space outside of Earth, that we can actually see with a telescope, like with at your house, like the stuff that's been recorded that has been released. There was a really good documentary that actor Dan Aykroyd made, and I think it got pulled from YouTube, but I'm not sure. But it's him just showing footage and talking about UFOs, which was kind of cool because you get to see these like weird flying objects that is apparently NASA footage that are like appearing out of nowhere, doing like right and left turns, doing like Mach 2, just really weird flying, and it's like almost like they're playing, like flying and playing, like I don't know, but also like I think it got pulled down, but you can still find it somewhere. Find it,
yeah. So remember, like, what was it, like 2 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, there was that long asteroid that flew past Earth in a weird way. It was able to speed itself up, in a weird way, and then it left the solar system. And they were speculating that it could have been aliens probing us, like trying to get a fly-by glance.
Right.
Yeah, so there's that. And then now this UFO, like, suppose that they are extraterrestrials, looking at us. They could be preparing for an invasion.
I don't think it's about an invasion. And I think that if you want a good example of why it's not an invasion, look up on YouTube. There's about 10 or 15 years ago, a large amount, it's a huge room full of government employees, military, ex-military personnel, all came forward in this room, and they all publicly announced all of the things that they'd ever seen in their career. Some of them even admitted to being at a missile launch silo, trying to turn the key and push the button, and there were malfunctions. I mean, if anything, I believe if there are aliens, they're trying to save us from destroying the one thing that's really keeping us alive, the Earth.
Another explanation for that object that flew by and then turned away and shot away or whatever in a weird way?
Right.
What if there are already aliens here and they're like, oh crap, that thing's going to hit the Earth, or at least like asteroids can mess up our gravitational orbit.
Right.
Like, I mean, it would have to be pretty big maybe, but if we get pulled off track, that would be detrimental. So maybe the aliens were like, did some magic technology stuff and pushed it away, and then that would explain it. But I don't know.
I truly believe that if there are ETs, they're saving us from ourselves. And I would like to say that the Earth is our planet, and we aren't meant to go build some weird space station on Mars and live there in a glass box. We're meant to stay here.
That's like saying Europe is our continent, and we're not meant to go out and
It is our continent. The world is our
Earth. No, I'm saying Europe 400 or 500 years ago could have said the same thing. Just humanity animals always spread out when they can, So it's totally natural for us to go to another planet.
I guess I'm just talking about the mindset of whatever. We could destroy the Earth because we can just go build space stations.
I mean, we could. No,
Right.
and we can't. We couldn't destroy the Earth we could destroy the Earth if we nuked it to hell.
Right.
But
and that's more or less what I was
climate
getting
change
at.
isn't gonna. We can't destroy the world with climate change. Once we can destroy our ecosystem, and we will die. Humans will die out. And then
Certainly.
then Earth will heal and go back to normal over time. And to us it takes a long time. Like, oh no, it'll take 200 million years to get back on track. Yeah, that's nothing though. That's for the Earth, it's been around so long. It's like,
Right.
Minor glitch. Just got to heal a little bit after this cold, and then I'm good to go.
Right.
Yeah. You have anything else you want to say?
It's fun to research this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The news doesn't usually like to talk about this kind of thing, especially in the United States. For some reason, it seems to have always had this shroud of, I don't know,
Conspiracy
theories. It's not real.
Yeah.
There are no such thing as strange flying objects. It's like, no, it's almost like the U.S. doesn't want you to even think that there were flying objects in the sky.
Yeah.
When there is video of it. And you can see
that
it.
would easily be explained by top secret technology experimentations and stuff like that.
Right.
Can't discount that. Yeah. But that's it for the article. If you enjoyed it, let us know by leaving a comment or giving a thumbs up. Check our Patreon link in the description if you want to help us, and thanks for watching.